let's take a look into the sales of my Steam games. I've been shipping a game each month for the past couple of months, and so far I've released 2 games on Steam, and the third game is in production. I wanted to reserve this given devlog to take a look into the numbers and the data of those 2 games released so far, but also to show how the third game has performed within the past week or such that it has been open on Steam. But let's jump right into the thing. So the how this gonna go is we're gonna take a look into the data, but also I'm gonna be at the same time reflecting my thoughts, what happened and why things happened, and so forth and such. So first of all, let's take a look into the Secret Quest, which was the first release in my shipping 24 games in 24 months. So if you don't know yet, I'm currently doing that. So I'm gonna be shipping 24 games within the next 24 months, which means 24 games, obviously. And the Secret Quest was built more than a month. So I used a lot more than a month for that, but I just used the 1 month, which was 2 months ago, to finalize the game and ship it on Steam. So the data will look much more different than for the next game, but obviously even more different for the third game. But the upcoming games from now on will be done from scratch, so there is no Steam page open before the month arrives. But so this is the data from Secret Quest, 6 months in total on time, which is now the date is 17th of November. And within that time, I've been able to, this is the store traffic impressions, so there's been 25,000 impressions and 10,000 visits, which is rather big amount, but let's take a closer look into that. Like, it's almost 50% visits from the impressions, so most likely it's mostly came from somewhere else rather than from those impressions. But so the graph may look really little confusing at start, but let's try to look into that. So first of all, the gray is the total, and the green is the bot traffic, which I'd like to remove from there. And let's remove the total as well. So we can now see a little more clearly what has happened here. It's like more like this. You can see it spiking like with some 30 views and such now and then, but also the other pages, which are, well, let's see from here, other pages. What are other pages? Update products list, there's something like that. Other, yeah, okay. So Discovery Queue has given a lot of impressions, and the Discovery Queue opened only after I received 10 reviews on Steam, so it's kind of unlocked the Discovery Queue, and with that it's been over 10% of the visits have been come from the Discovery Queue, which is rather big amount. So getting those 10 reviews seems to be a rather big thing for a game to get more eyeballs on Steam, which is rather obvious, but it's always nice to see it from my own data and to actually believe it as well. But yeah, so mostly from the United States, a little bit from the Russia, and rest is from the Finland. I guess Finland is here because, well, I've been promoting the game for my friends and family and colleagues and such who are in Finland, so maybe that's the reason for the Finland stepping in there. But the United States keeps, let's say, a big portion of the visits on this Steam page. Okay, so maybe I stop it here for a moment so you can take a look into the data if you like, while I think about the kind of the marketing side of Secret Quest. So Secret Quest was a pain in getting eyeballs for the given game, because for some reason the game just didn't get any kind of a traffic. Like, it felt to me like every visit to the store page had to be done manually. Like, I had to do so much work to get even some eyeballs for the Steam page. The kind of a project felt cursed right from the beginning. I'm not sure, is it the art style, or is it the game mechanic, or too competitive market, or whatever is the reason. But I kind of made to myself clear that Secret Quest was, let's say, built to a way too competitive market. It's like top-down shooter game, and it doesn't have some neat, very special graphics. It's kind of basic cartoon graphics and such, so it's not that appealing. So what I kind of realized from Secret Quest is that you either have to do something very different to get more people interested in your game. But if you are building something like very ordinary, like a game mechanic and game genre that people are aware of, you need to be doing it with a like 100% perfection and very clear, like polished graphics and polished game and such, like because the kind of so-called competitors in the given genre are doing that. So if you are going to compete with that, you just cannot create a game that is more bad than the competitors. So if you're not able to create as valuable game to that genre, you're not supposed to be making a game for that genre. So figure out something different, something that is appealing from the design perspective. It's already something different. But for Secret Quest, it's a top-down shooter and such. The only difference is that it's a creature collector game that you fight in the areas and you collect monsters and such. But that's not very different. It's hard to kind of see that from the trailers and understand the value or the interest for the given game. So it's too ordinary, I would say, Secret Quest. How the sales converted with these numbers. So let's take a look into that. So with 25,000 impressions and 4,000 visits, and the click-through rate being such a massive, I think it's because of my own marketing and such. But so it converted sales like this. So lifetime revenue have been $400, yes, and Steam units 200, retail units. So these are basically what I've shared to influencers and such, how many people have activated the code. The lifetime units returned is rather high. I'm still uncertain what is the reason for those, but I've been, testing on different platforms and such, and I cannot figure out any technical issues. So maybe the game is just not something that the person who purchased the game expects it to be. So maybe something like that. But I'm not actually sure is this a high percent, but for the rest of the games I released, it is rather a high percent. So that's why I think there's some problem with the game, like how people see the game before purchasing it, or maybe there is a technical issue that is not being reported. I do understand that Secret Quest was doing, let's say, a little strange ways with the controls, and people found it hard to kind of get used of those controls. I admitted I made a very big mistake when designing the controls for Secret Quest. It was supposed to be like very basic and easy controls, but some reason it got out of hand and the controls became very confusing, even though the game is very simple. But the kind of problem, I realized it too late, and if I would be changing the controls, I would be kind of redoing the whole game, because the code structure of the game is pretty bad. So I ended up with those like rather confusing controls. But people who have learned those controls, they have enjoyed the game, but obviously for most of the people it may be too big of a struggle. But anyhow, so that's the Steam revenue in total. There's have been 500 wish lists during this period as well, which have kind of a double the amount of wish list that was on the release dates. It was something around 500 or such when I released the game, so it's now over 1,000 or something like that. So, but yeah, so what this wish list is saying that people are maybe interested in purchasing the game from sales or such, and that's what I've been seeing, that in every sale that Secret Quest goes, people like to purchase the game, or some amount of people like to purchase the game. And that's a very good sign for this shipping 24 games in 24 months, is that people like to buy those from the sales. And that what that may bring is that once I have, let's say, 10 games released on Steam as an example, and each of those games can attend to different kind of sales and such, and more people find the games through those sales and purchase them, it can kind of start generating some actual revenue at some point when there is a lot of games shipped. But that's obviously a hypothesis at this point that will that happen. But it's interesting to see. But anyhow, it's not that big of a sales considering that Secret Quest was like built within 2 or 3 years. Obviously, I didn't work the whole 2 to 3 years with the game. There were like long time periods I didn't touch the game and such. But I would still say that I've used, let's say, at least a year to develop the game. So if you combine these to 12 months, it's not a very good salary from from a game. But it's okay. It was a learning project for me, and I totally accept these numbers. It was not that perfect game. It's good, but it's too unusual, strange graphics, not that, or well, it is too ordinary from the visual side and such. But good learnings from this given project. So let's jump to the next game. So this Cats with Standards was released last month. So that means October. October was the release date of Cats with Standards. And Cats with Standards, let's actually go first here. So this is from 3 months of impressions. So you can see the dates there. This is the amount of impressions I've got. So if you already compare this impression amount to the Secret Quest traffic, that's 25,000 within 6 months for the game. And it was released on that date. Although I have to add that Secret Quest was on early access for some time. So there was no release spike within these 6 months. That's actually big change in this. So the early access for Secret Quest was a very, 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 very bad decision and should have not been done. But I did it, I learned, and I will never do that again with basically any of my games, the early access. It doesn't really help. I think early access is for games that are actually in massive production, are planned to be developed for a very long time to acquire players during that time. But if you're planning on shipping a game, let's say within a reasonable time period, I don't think early access has nothing to do with your visibility. It makes it worse. So I'd say that don't do early access at any point as an indie game developer. Obviously, there are some very specific situations when early access can make count, but I would say that never do it. You can use the playtest functionality on Steam if you wanna get players like upfront into that. And by using playtest, you're not even losing the sales from that or the visibilities from the launch. Because playtest is, you can close the playtest once it's complete, and then people who wanna own the game after the playtest, they need to buy it as an example. So it's much better way to use playtest for an indie game than early access. But yeah, if you look at the impressions already, that's like big amount of impressions. It's been now 18 days I released the game, but this is from 3 months. But you can see the spike from there. That's mostly bot traffic. Sorry, Discovery Queue was mostly here. The colors changed. The bot traffic is now gone totally. But Discovery Queue spiking there with 3,000. It's dropping, trying again, dropping, trying again, and I think the kind of a trend will follow here, that it's not getting enough of purchases from users who are directed to the Steam page. So this trend will most likely continue going. A little spike, a little spike, little spike, and then it goes to 0 or something like that. But that's how it's gonna work. You can pretty much see how the algorithm works on Steam by you looking at this graph. So these are the opportunities that Steam algorithm offers my game, that if you are now selling good, when we give you this 1,000 visits to your store page, we will continue giving you impressions and store visits. But okay, no, it didn't sell good, so let's drop that. Here's your other next chance, try it, so let's see if it sells now, and no, it's not gonna sell, so we're gonna drop it. So that's how the Steam algorithm works. You need to sell on those spikes to continue having the visibility. But visits 21,500, and the click-through rate is much lower here than on Secret Quest, obviously. And that's a huge amount of impressions compared to the Secret Quest. But the discovery queue is like the big thing for Cats with Standards. It was a rather the discovery queue unlocked way too late for the given game. It took me like, I don't know how many days did it require, like 3 days? 3 days to get the discovery queue unlocked. So it was really released on the 31st of October, and then 3 days after I was able to unlock the discovery queue, so the 10 reviews, and then we spike. And there's the kind of a big thing. So if that would be happening right after the release, it may have helped a little, but sooner or later it's better to get that, and looks like it's kind of a mandatory for a game to get that discovery queue open as fast as possible. It's only 10 reviews, so it shouldn't be an issue to hire your friends or such to do that. So always focus on getting the discovery queue open as soon as possible for your games. But yeah, more like this, the tag page, not very good amount of impressions. I may be changing the tags for the game because, well, it's not generating a lot of impressions or such. So maybe I try the tags change at some point. But so how did Cats with Standards sell? So this timeline is 3 months as well. So within 3 months, it's sold 75 copies and retail units 45. And that's in total something around $200 so far. So it still keep on selling, and look at this wishlist amount. Like, it's been popping very big, like for the past after the release. So still, even though the game costs only $3 on Steam, it's still something that people want to wishlist and wait for a sale. Or at least that's my hypothesis, because why wouldn't you wishlist a game if you're not planning on buying it at any point? So the wishlist amount has spiked after the release. So, but that's the story in a nutshell, and it's still interesting to see, like mentioned in Secret Quest, like when putting it on sales, like within coming months and such, will it keep on selling on those given sales windows and such? And like mentioned, when I have like 10 games released, will those continue, each of those keep on selling? That is very likely, because I didn't actually get the data from Secret My Shadow, which I've been released like years ago, and it's still selling during sales, and it's actually selling pretty decently, like for a solo game developer. It's something like $200, $300, $400 or such during the sales. So if that is the case for all of the games, it could be a very interesting thing for a solo game developer to have that backlog of games to play the discount game on Steam and get a decent amount of revenue through the games released years ago. Interesting to see. Okay, so next up, the Runewood, which is currently in development, and it's been suffering a lot to get any wish lists. Obviously, the Steam page has been out for less than a week now. So within a week, there's been 22 wish lists for the game, and that's about it. The lifetime unique users are 2, and these are 100% Valve employees, because the Steam key has not been shared to anyone yet, so it needs to be Valve employees. They've been enjoying the game for 19 minutes as a median playtime, so I hope you enjoyed, Valve employees. So what about the impressions? So this is last 2 weeks. So that's when the Steam page was opened. And that's bot traffic is the green one. So it's dropping there. And it's pretty much like not that much of an impressions and not that much of a store visit. So it's It's 665 store visits, from which 22 have wishlisted the game approximately. So it's rather good conversion percent. So I'm not kind of saying that there's something wrong with the game or such. It's just very hard to get any eyeballs for the game currently. And let's see if that's possible to change during the next 2 weeks or such to get more eyeballs for the game. I'm still betting on the influencers side of this because the game has, let's say, opportunity to be a very influencer-friendly game. It could be interesting for people to try and survive with 100 days in their stream or YouTube video or such. So fun to see. But for a week of store page open, this is what it looks like. So like mentioned, a little less than 2,000 impressions, 665 visits, and 22 wish lists. So that's what you can do within a week with this given game, at least. But that's in a nutshell, the current situation. So Runewood 100 Nights, let's actually put that Runewood on Steam, Runewood at itch.io. So Runewood can be already, luckily it's on Google as well, but you can actually wishlist the game, like mentioned. There's a stream going, like look at me, I'm in 2 places at the same time. But so you can wishlist the game there, and it's planned to release on 1st of December. That's my plan to get it out. But if you want to already play it, you can do that on chestercraft.itch.io/Runewood. And you can actually play the game right here. So go try it. I think the game is rather fun. I actually added these effects yesterday for the game, and I think it looks rather nice. So go and try it. It could be fun. Okay, so that's for the devlog today, and I tried to kind of get back into making these devlogs because it's been, let's say, like mentioned in my previous videos, it's been rather hard to figure out any good topics. What should I be talking about? Because these 1-month projects are so fast that it's pretty hard to stop for a moment and tell what I've been doing and such, because I think it's not that interesting because things move forward so fast, so hard to create any interesting content from that. But if you have any questions or ideas like AMA for shipping 24 games in 24 months, please do drop a comment on YouTube and ask anything you like. I would love to do that. But I'm back to developing, and also I'm trying to stream my development, so that is on Twitch. So chestercraft_TV is the Twitch account. So if you want to put that on follow to see when I put the stream on, because there's no schedule right now, I may want to try and make a schedule, but right now it's just when I have an opportunity, I try to stream the development as well. So be sure to hit the subscribe button for the Twitch channel. So chestercraft_TV is the name of the Twitch. Cool. Okay, so thank you very much for watching to the end, and be sure to drop a comment to ask anything or let me know your thoughts and such. And Runewood 100 Nights will be out on 1st of December. Hope to see you playing the game and dropping feedback before that, and especially after the release. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.